Hello, Gold Class Monkeys. So today, I want to show you some magazines that I have at my house, and you may have seen these. Maybe you have them at your house, but I'm pretty sure they also have them at the library. Because I talked about in today's lesson plan about looking at nonfiction books, which are the books that tell you facts and that you learn about new things from. This is it's a magazine called Zootles, and so it's all about animals, which of course I love, and I know you guys do too. And so each magazine focuses on a different animal. So I've got one for zebras, I've got backyard birds, and these are old because I've had these since my girls were little. Whales, tigers, and rabbits. So this is a cool magazine. Like I said, that maybe you have. It's from the publishers of Zoo Books, which is another version of the magazine for a little bit older kids. But you guys are getting older, so you might like that one too. But it's a really good magazine, and you can learn about animals. So I thought I would read for you and kind of go through this magazine, and I'm going to do the one about zebras. Zebras, love zebras. I always go to see the zebras when I go to the zoo. And so, starting, here we go. Z is for zebras. Zebras run fast. Zebras zig, zebras zag, zebras zoom, zoom, zoom. So, those are zebras. Zebras are black and white, but I found out something interesting because I've looked through this magazine and you'll have to wait to find out. Zebras are black and white. Zooming in on zebras, here we go. A zebra has a black and white striped coat. No two zebras have the same design. Family members recognize each other by their markings. Isn't that cool? So to us, zebras all kind of look alike. But if in your zebra family, your mom and dad zebra, your brother, sister, you would know who your mom or your dad was because you would recognize the design on their coat because it would be different than all the other zebras. That's amazing. The mane is short and it stands straight up like a brush. Its black and white markings follow those on the zebra's coat, so you can see that it continues on into that mane. I would love to feel a zebra's mane. I wonder if it's really soft or if it's really bristly. Zebras have powerful legs with strong hooves that help them run away quickly or kick hard when they're in trouble. So they can use that as a defense. They can kick really hard, plus they're fast runners. So they can use both those things. Zebras eat only plants. They snip grass with their sharp front teeth, and then their strong back teeth help grind up the food. So they have sharp front teeth to snip the grass, and then their back teeth grind it up. Zebras can move their large ears in almost any direction to catch the slightest sound. So that is another way that they protect themselves. Their ears turn all the way around to hear sounds all around them because they're always listening for predators, for someone that might want to eat them. A zebra's big eyes are set high on the sides of its head so the zebra can look out for danger even when bending down to eat. Interesting. I didn't know that their eyes were positioned a certain way, and they have big eyes, so they can keep looking around even when they're bending down to eat. It says, did you know there are 3 kinds of zebras? Plain zebras live in big herds and are the most common, but there are also mountain zebras and Grevy's zebras, and they all live in Africa. So already I have learned things about zebras that I didn't know before. I love that. Okay. This is called zillions of zebras. On the African plains, zebras sometimes gather together to form huge herds of hundreds or even thousands of animals. How many zebras can you find in this picture? Let me hold it up a little bit. And if you need to pause it and count all the zebras that are in this picture. It's a lot of zebras. Why do zebras have stripes? No one really knows for sure, but some scientists think the blur of stripes in a zebra herd makes it harder for enemies like lions and hyenas to pick out a single animal to attack. So if they're all standing together in a big herd and you see all these stripes, it's hard to tell like individual zebras, and so they just see this big herd and they're less likely to try to attack them because they can't, it's harder to see the individual animals. They kind of all blend together as just a bunch of stripes. So it's another way that they can protect themselves. Zebra babies. Baby zebras are called foals. When foals are born, even though they are very small, their legs are almost as long as their mother's legs. So see, you can see in this picture that baby's legs are very long. So his body is a lot smaller, but his legs are still very long. Zebra foals can stand by the time they are 15 minutes old. Could you stand when you were 15 minutes old? Nope. And they can run within an hour. Amazing. So they stand up really fast and they can start running within an hour after they're born. When the foals are older, they will join the herd and play with other young zebras. But their mothers and other adults will still watch over the youngsters and keep them safe. When danger is near, adult zebras will crowd around the foals to protect them, guarding them with their bodies. So they will take care of the young zebras in their herd. Zebra starts with the letter Z. And here it talks about where in the world zebras live in Africa. Okay. Here it talks about some things are as obvious as black and white. So zebras are one of those black and white animals. There's not a whole lot of animals that are black and white. But did you know that, okay, so we learned that there's 3 types of zebras. There's the plain zebras, the mountain zebras, and the Grevy's zebras. Grevy's zebras are actually brown and white. So if you go, I think at the zoo, they might have Grevy's zebras. So you might notice that the Grevy's zebras, the stripes look a little bit different. They're actually brown and white instead of black and white. Interesting. Okay. Hold on. Okay, this is animals in black and white. So this is pictures of different animals that you can see. And can you see any other animals that are black and white? See the panda? Pandas are black and white. Penguins are black and white, although they have a lot of times a little bit of yellow or orange. Skunks are black and white. But try to think of all the animals you know that are black and white. All right. Zebra safety check. So it's like a little poem about zebras. 2 zebras look so cozy as they nuzzle neck to neck. But it isn't just for friendship, it's a zebra safety check. For on the hazy grasslands, hungry lions may attack, and a dozing lazy zebra may become a leopard snack. So one zebra gazes forward while the other looks behind. You can spot a lot more lions with two sets of eyes combined. So zebras look cozy when they're kind of standing with the head at one end and head at the other end, two of them next to each other. So they may like to nuzzle each other, but they also do it to keep themselves safe because their eyes are looking different ways and they can look and watch out for predators. Smart zebras. Okay. Living together. Plain zebras. These are all pictures of plain zebras. Plain zebras live together in families. Family members help each other. If a zebra has to walk slowly, the other zebras in its group walk slowly too. That way, zebras that are very young, very old, or sick aren't left behind. When traveling, stallions, those are the male zebras, usually stay at the back of the group to help defend the family from enemies. And if a zebra is missing, its family members will call and look for it. So zebra families definitely do take care of each other. It's awesome. Zebras are always watching for danger. If one zebra spots a hungry lion or hyena, it barks to warn the rest of its family to run away. When a foal grows up, it moves away to join a new family. Young males sometimes form groups with other young males where they practice fighting and running. So zebras live in families. Not all animals do that. And this is more of a story, like a story about zebras, called Lost and Found. The sun is low and red over the hot, dusty African grasslands. Zach, the zebra foal, is resting near his mother Zoe after drinking warm milk from her body. They stand facing each other while he rubs his head and neck against hers. He feels safe close to his mother. While the other zebras in the herd eat grass all around them, Zach and Zoe are hidden in a jumble of black and white stripes. A hungry crocodile or lion might not see the two of them in among so many zebra legs and manes and rounded sides. All of a sudden there is the barking, braying sound of frightened zebras. A leopard has leaped out of the bushes, running and kicking. All the zebras in the herd scatter quickly. Zoe gallops away and hides behind a tall termite mound, but in the confusion, Zach runs in another direction. He huddles together with a small group of zebras. The leopard is soon gone, unsuccessful in his hunt, and the herd is calm again. But Zach is still scared. There is a mother zebra nearby, but her face looks strange. Her stripes are not the ones Zach is used to. Zach pushes through the herd looking for Zoe. Other zebra foals are scrambling too, looking for their mothers in a sea of black and white markings. Zach sniffs the air for the comforting smell of his mother. Suddenly, he hears a familiar whinny. In the crowd, he spots a face with a well-known black and white design. A design like no other zebras in the world coming toward him. It's Zoe! Zach runs to press his head against his mother as she nuzzles his face. They have found each other. As the sun goes down, Zoe and Zach, mother and foal, continue on together. So remember, we said earlier in the magazine that every zebra's markings are different, and that's how family members know each other. So Zach knew that when he was around different zebras that none of those were his mom. That is awesome. Looking out for zebras. Grevy zebras are the largest of the 3 kinds of striped wild horses found in Africa. They live in the dry scrublands of Kenya and Ethiopia where it's hard to find food and water. But African ranchers need grass and water for the cows and goats that they raise too. And sometimes there isn't enough left over for the zebras. To help the Grevy zebra, Martha Fisher of the St. Louis Zoo and other scientists work together with ranchers to find ways to share their land with wild animals. So there are people working to find ways to take care of the zebras, to make sure that the ranchers that live there have enough food and water for the animals that they're raising, but also the zebras. And remember, we learned earlier what's different about the Grevy zebras. It says they're the largest of the three kinds, but what else did we learn about Grevy zebras? Their stripes aren't black and white, they are brown and white. And you can tell they do look, I'm not sure if it's as obvious through the computer screen, but they do look a little bit lighter in color, brown and white. So, and on the back of the Zootles magazine, there's always the adventures of Otto and Allie, kind of like a little comic. How do you like my new pajamas, Otto? Very nice, Allie. You look just like one of the zebras. What zebras? The ones grazing out there on the plains. Didn't you notice them? You mean the herd of horses wearing PJs just like mine? Not horses, Allie, zebras. They may look alike, but only zebras have stripes. In fact, long ago, zebras were called horse tigers. Can you guess why? Sure, because that's easier to say than horses wearing striped pajamas. Horse tigers. Interesting. So, that is the Zootles magazine. And like I said, this I bet you can find at the library, which you will be able to go to this summer. But you can also check things out online and pick them up, and you can look at those. But it's this is also zoo books are also by this, also about animals. And I love learning about animals, as you guys do too. So that is my story for today. We all learned, hopefully you guys did, I did, hopefully we all learned something new about zebras. I love zebras. Okay. Today I am wearing my necklaces that Caleb and his brother gave me. I love those. Thank you so much. So today is going to be a really nice warm day, nice, much sunnier and warmer than yesterday. So I've given you some activities in today's lesson that you can do outside. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you soon. And I miss you. I wish you well. I wish you well. All through the day today, I wish you well.